if in this country, they allow transsexuals to come and teach a 4-year-old or a 3-year-old about their, their sexual orientation.
Yeah, they should.
They should?
Yeah.
So you're okay with your children to have this, portrayal of sex before they even understand what it is? At the age of 4...
No, at appropriate age, I'm okay with them being taught
I'm saying
about
this is primary school. This is primary school and this has happened already.
Yeah.
Okay? So before they even understand the concept of love, forget about making love.
Yes, transsexual isn't about sex, it's about gender.
I know, but I'm saying this is not only about, there's one example I gave you. They talk about transsexuality, they even maybe talk about homosexuality, maybe in the future about incest as well. Because you said you would allow it. So if you would allow it, then you would allow, why would you not allow?
It doesn't make them homosexual.
No, but it indoctrinates them
that it
at,
is
at,
okay
at the
for
age,
people to...
at the age where they don't even understand the basics of love, let alone making love.
Anyway, let's move on from this point.
You are showing them romantic movies, right? Anyway.
Yeah. Let's move on from this point. But I think what the point here is this. I mean, there are things in our society where the society may decide to have a say on this and legislate according to it. Homosexuality being one of them and so on and so
even
forth.
Adult content, they don't allow it before 9 o'clock in this country. Why?
Yeah.
Because they know the children are awake.
Yes, but you show them Bridget Jones' Diary.
Yeah, but it impacts them, isn't it?
Anyway. These are the things, I mean, these are the branches when you talk about concept of religion and the laws from religion or from secular systems. You asked about how do we know God exists and how do we prove this. Now, we came through a particular angle in terms of from the creation to the creator. This is one way of looking at it. And the similar example I pointed to is like when you see a painting, it shows to you a painter. Now that's only one aspect of how we can use our reason to arrive at a conclusion and certainty in our heart and our mind that yes, there has to be a creator rather than this universe itself which is unconscious, but you said it is conscious because we are conscious. Once we attribute the universe some consciousness, will and energy and knowledge to it, this is in a way deifying it, saying yes, the universe is God and that is what it's doing. Instead of saying there is this God who has created us for a reason, this universe also has qualities of God, created us, but doesn't want anything from us. And this perspective is taken by certain people for a reason. Because if you think about it, religion is prescriptive. It tells you, do this and don't do this. Okay, don't harm others, be good, be kind, and so on. Don't cheat, don't lie, don't give usury and interest, don't rob people. But there are in this society people who want to exploit others and abuse others and make themselves greater and happier, richer, wealthier, more famous and this and that by exploiting others. And you can only do this by not in a moral way. Most of the time is by cheating and all these things I mentioned. Religion prevents these things from happening and they go against this for this reason, saying I cannot subscribe to a religion.
You have an inherent belief there that people are born sinful. I don't think.
No, we don't.
No, this is Christianity. We are Muslims. We believe we are born with a clean slate, and we make our life how we want it in terms of whether we're going to live a good life or a bad life. If we follow a bad life, we'll have a bad consequence. Yeah.
But what about people who have been victimized in childhood and become bad people?
They need to be helped, supported,
rehabilitation
corrected, rehabilitated.
Yeah.
Yeah, there has to be a full mechanism to support them and bring them back into society and acceptability and rectify them.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Islam has a full, a program for these individuals when they are abused or victimized like this. So coming back to this point.
Actually, that's a good point about, how would you, as a person, based on your ideology, how should these victims be supported and how should the people who made them victims be punished? Would you consider any form of, justice for the people who abuse these children?
How do you deal with the criminals?
To be very honest about myself, I believe in very utopian kind of world where I believe system should be very healing both for criminals and victims.
Okay, so let's say somebody raped you brought up this earlier, rape is objectively wrong.
Yeah.
So somebody raped a woman, how should the rapist be punished?
Or a man,
Because
men also are getting raped by
Yeah,
people.
that's why I said
Yeah.
rapist.
Yeah. So I see rape as a result of societal conditioning, more than just individual action. So ideally, I would reform society before punishing a rapist.
Like how? Would you stop pornography, for example? Because that is one of the causes, you know that.
The drivers.
Trafficking. Yeah.
One of the causes is pornography. And earlier, the reason I brought this up, because I wanted to explore this further, to see the consequences and the impact of these things which are the evils of society. And you know, in Islam, the reason alcohol is banned, the reason intoxicants like drugs are banned, is because of this, because they have far-reaching consequences beyond just the individual abusing those, intoxicants. And that is the reason, that is the beauty, that is how we understand that the Creator knows us better than ourselves. Because the reason the Creator, God Almighty, has banned this,
Why did he create
substance.
them then?
No, look, why did human beings create a knife? Yeah? You wouldn't ban all knife, would you? The reason, because
Created
somebody
in-
misuses that knife to murder someone. It doesn't mean you're going to ban all knives in the world, are you? Because maybe the knife can be used
But
to
you'll-
save life, maybe to have food on your table, like those cavemen, they needed.
Operating theaters, surgery,
Yeah.
right? So the question about why did God create people? No, God did not create people to be evil. God created people with the faculty of choice, knowing good and bad, telling them what is good and bad, and people abuse or not use them appropriately, and they misuse them. That choice, the faculty of the intellect that they have, people can misuse and do it for the wrong purposes, and that they become exploiters and rapists and murderers and ethnic cleansers and so on. But our Creator says, look, we've given you these two things, we have inspired you in the good and the bad,
He's
but we don't want
instructed
you
us.
to, we don't
Not
want
only inspired, he's instructed us specifically
God,
how to
yeah,
use the things which are wholesome and good,
yeah.
and how not to misuse them as well. For example, look, if I were to tell you to eat food unmoderated or drink water unmoderated, then even water can be dangerous for you. Yes? Even the food which nourishes you can be dangerous for you if it's unmoderated. What I'm saying,
if
yeah.
you were, say, in cold and dying, and if you only had alcohol to survive, would you still drink it or not?
for survival,
Alcohol would not help you survive, would it?
yeah.
I mean, to keep you
But
warm.
in general principle, Islam says, look, if it's a life-saving measure,
Those
then
exceptions.
anything that was forbidden to you, you can consume or make use of them to survive only that amount that makes you survive.
survive.
Like
So
pork is something which is forbidden.
there's an exception
Yeah.
to the rule, but
So
the
there are
general rule is that you avoid certain foods and drink which are not beneficial for you, not healthier for you. God says, eat of the things which are tayyib, which is halal and tayyib, pure and acceptable, and something that God is permissible.
So the question which I want you to ponder upon is like, what would you consider to be the right punishment for a rapist that will not only stop him from further rapes, but also make him realize and others to realize that this is ultimately wrong.
Yeah, I feel like there should be a psychological reform system where
What do you mean?
the
Just speak to the rapist to be good.
perpetrator should be able to realize and see his mistake for what it is.
Let's say you go through this psychoanalysis and this psychotherapy or whatever therapy it is, and that rapist rapes again. Then what are you going to do?
Then that system failed, right?
Good. So
I'm
what would
saying-
be the right system? No, because this has already happened. You know that.
No,
This
that's
this has already been implemented,
yeah.
and
Then we
it has
reform the
failed.
system.
Okay. No. Okay. So what is the next system now?
Same. But
Same.
better.
So
Yeah,
more
which
therapy,
works. Yeah.
and then it fails again. Then what do you do?
No, I'm saying that
This trial and
reform
error
the
has already
system.
been implemented, and it has already shown that it has failed on certain individuals who are repeat offenders, so repeat murderers, repeat rapists, yes, and repeat abusers. So the question now is,
So
if
do
for
you
this
believe
repeat,
they are inherently sinful?
no, I'm not saying inherently.
No,
I'm
I'm
saying
asking.
these people are beyond repair.
So what
and
do you
and
suggest?
and the only way for certain things to is basically to get rid of them, so they don't harm somebody
Would you
else.
punish them? Would you put behind bars, or would you implement even severe punishment system for them?
What do you suggest?
There
That's
has
the question I'm asking you. If you have all these therapies which are failing, so you have tried all the non-violence, and understand because you have been indoctrinated as a Jain, you would never consider harming that person. Am I right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I understand because you're coming from a background
No,
which
no, I'm
which is
just
non-violence,
saying-
which is ahimsa.
Yeah, no. I'm saying in terms of my views as a human, because I genuinely don't believe in justice that doesn't heal people.
Okay, so if these repeat rapists, you wouldn't.
be very-
Whom are you being? What do you say? Are you being more intolerant and more friendly and more, what do you say, tolerant towards this person who has victimized
Probably,
so
of
many
course,
people?
lock him up, but practically lock him up. But I'm saying we should still be investing in the system that reforms them.
Yeah, I agree. Look, there is rehabilitation. I'm not saying no, but what I'm saying is that there are certain individuals for whom this repeat offense is really the way of life. Yes, they can't do without it. Just like an alcoholic cannot be without his alcohol, or a drug abuser cannot be without his drug. For these guys, this is their way of life.
Probably, yeah.
So if you're going to just say, okay, what, lock them up for life,
Yeah,
throw the key away,
yeah.
okay. And do you think that's his life? Do you think that's a life worth
It
living?
shouldn't be. I mean, it shouldn't be, but we don't have a system to deal with them.
Okay. So you're ultimately harming someone, isn't it? You're going against your own principle by doing this.
Yeah.
You see, so
Trying
this
to
is
save others.
this is what I mean. So even your own principles, you would discard given the circumstance.
Yeah.
How is that helping? If you're not going to abide by your own principles, then those principles are meaningless.
I mean, you would also drink to survive, right? In exception.
No, but that's a matter of life and death. That's different.
Here also
For,
people.
no,
are
it's not a
just
matter of
gonna-
life and death.
gonna
This guy is the
kill
one who is abusing and taking the life of others.
Yeah, then
So
a
it's
matter
not
of the
his.
life and death of other people.
Yeah, exactly. I'm saying the victims are not getting the justice which they deserve.
Yeah, that's why we
Yeah.
are locking him up.
So
It's
so let me
life
ask you
and
this:
death.
if even taking the life, to be honest, it wouldn't serve ultimate justice. Ultimate justice can only be served by God Almighty in the hereafter, because even if this someone like Hitler has killed thousands and millions, or responsible for killing thousands and millions, he has got only one life, and even if you give him capital punishment, I don't think that's going to be enough to serve justice for these millions whom he was responsible for killing. So
is
we-
justice served? Is
Yeah.
the question. Even if you were to apply capital punishment on Hitler, if you were to, would it really justify and say justice is served by that punishment, or he deserved even more? You can't kill him more than once, can you? Once you so kill him by lethal injection or hang him or whatever, you can't kill
But
him more
that's
than
coming
once.
from a point of vengeance, right?
But it's not a vengeance, it's about justice. Justice is not necessarily just understanding of vengeance in this kind. When you have a criminal and you have a victim,
Then kill him.
to
That's
be
right?
justice to be served means that criminal must pay a penalty. That's not vengeance. That is the requirement of justice.
Yeah, and then if he pays by his life, it is justice.
So
right?
if he pays only once, when he killed not one person, thousands of persons or people, how is that serving justice? Are you
Then
saying
what else
justice
can
is
you
served? Ah, good question. So what else needs to be done? What else are we expecting then?
And this is the kind of justice which only God can deliver. The reason for that is because
you eat meat, right?
Say again?
You eat meat.
Yeah, I do. I'm
So
not a
probably-
vegetarian.
Yeah, no.
I
What
like
I'm,
my lamb biryanis.
But what I'm
Alhamdulillah.
saying is that is also life, and probably you have killed as many animals as Hitler killed people.
We take life with the permission of God because these, we have a perspective about in this life
I don't do it for
what
sport.
our roles are.
I do it
No, yeah,
to nourish myself.
I
Yeah.
understand. And
Taking
it's
the life of a
success.
human being is not the same as taking the life of an animal,
Why?
because the value is different.
How?
Okay.
Who says?
Do you have
Why
pets?
the value of
Do you
animal
have
is
pets?
lesser than you?
Do you have pets?
Yeah,
What do you feed them? What do you have, cat or a dog?
dog.
A dog. What do you feed your dog? Vegetarian food?
No.
No? Oh, you feed him.
I'm not saying about me. I'm saying about you.
No, but I'm using your principle.
Yeah.
You're saying it is wrong for me to
No, I'm
be
not saying wrong.
be
I'm
a
asking you,
non-vegetarian.
why is there a value difference?
Because value difference is there. You
Why?
do not treat your dog the same way as you would treat your kids, would you?
No.
Why is that? Because the value you realize is different.
No,
Okay?
its needs are different.
Say again?
Its needs are different.
No,
than
even
my
the
kids'
value.
needs.
Even the value is different. So for example, both your dog and your kids need food. Do you invite them to the dinner table at the same time? On the dinner table? The
But
needs
I
are
would
same, they
feed
both
them.
need food, right?
Yeah,
But
but
the
I
way
feed
you
both
treat
of
your
them.
dog is not definitely the same as you treat your children.
But I don't. That's not because there is a value difference.
No, you value them differently. There's no doubt about
So you
this.
value the life of an animal and a human being the same, is it?
No, I'm asking you. Why don't you value?
Because
them
in
equally?
our belief system, in our paradigm, the Creator has created us and given us all of this for our benefit. Even the planets and other stars and so on, we can utilize them for our own benefit. So the food that we eat, the animals and so on, these are provisions for us. But of course, we cannot commit
that's-
excesses.
that's a
We cannot
narcissistic
commit
view.
excesses. We have to, like for example, only consume for food rather than sports. So we can't
Did
go
you,
on
did you hear what
hunting.
she said? She said it's a narcissistic view.
It's like, oh, we humans so important. Everything is.
But
created
you,
for
you,
us.
you, even though you
So-
are saying this, you consciously do this.
So
you
you-
treat your animals and your children differently. There's no doubt about this.
Do you think human beings and animals have
I'm
the
saying,
same value?
No. Overall, I do believe religions have this narcissism aspect. I'm just
Not
bringing
religion,
it
no.
up.
Even you as a non-religious person, you treat your animals, your pets, and your children differently. There's no
Okay.
doubt about this.
Have you ever taken antibiotics?
Yeah.
How many bacteria have you killed?
No, I'm
Do you
not
consider the value of life of a bacteria the same as the value of a human being?
Yeah, so they should be asking
So
for
did you say
justice
yes?
as well.
Sorry?
I mean, no, I mean, what I'm trying to say is, so they should be asking me for justice as well.
No, what I'm saying is if you consider the life of every living thing the same, then that means you should not take antibiotics or any antivirals or any antifungals, anything, because these will probably destroy the life of a fungus, of a bacteria, of a virus, of all this,
No, I do that because
Other
I don't think
organisms?
of it as a value. I think of it as a survival.
Sorry?
I don't think of it as a value. I think of it as a survival. I mean,
You don't value them equally?
If I could eat meat, it would be
No,
my
do you value
survival,
do you
not because
value
I
all
see
living
it as
beings?
a-
I am sort of lost here. Do you value all living beings
Equally, yeah.
equally?
Yeah.
So that means a bacteria, a very harmful bacteria that gives us infection.
I could kill it if it means.
She's saying she does it for survival.
Survival.
So
not
you
because I
do it
see
for
as a-
survival?
It has no value.
So you would
I
kill
mean,
it for
I
survival.
think this mentality of value and power play is also very toxic.
No, it's not. You do, like I said, you do it whether you like it or not. You would treat non-humans differently to humans, whether subconsciously or consciously, and you do it on a daily basis without even realizing it. So, anyone who tells me that they value humans and non-humans the same, they're not being genuine. And I mean this. The reason for that is because we wouldn't,
You can't
we,
treat
we wouldn't be,
animals with respect.
we wouldn't
No,
be
of course,
keeping.
but not the
Yeah.
same as a human life, would you? Do people
Just
do
because
consider?
I mean humans
Do they?
can
I'm
express the
asking.
pain. Just because humans can express
No,
the
so
pain.
can animals.
Animals
Animals
can express pain
their
too.
emotions in a different way, but they do
Yeah,
express it.
yeah.
For example, if you were to take a cat on a leash and a dog on a leash, it wouldn't be the same, would it?
Yeah.
Yes,
Let me-
because they're two different animals.
Let me put a scenario. You have your own child and you have your own pet dog. You can only save one of them.
Child.
Why would you spare the child and not the
It's-
dog?
Because it's close to me, right? It's not.
So
value.
now you see the difference
Your
comes
value.
in.
It's your
It's
value
not
judgment.
So you,
No.
it's not only
It's what is close to me. My
Okay, let's forget about your child. Somebody else's
someone
child.
else's child and your
Then
own
what?
pet. You have no relation to that child,
Yeah.
and
It's
you,
a
this is
complete
your
stranger
pet.
to you. The ship is sinking. You got some rats on the corner, one corner, and you got a child on the other corner. The ship is sinking. You're only allowed to take one entity with you to save their life. Would you take a rat or would you take a human?
Human.
Why?
You have to go.
Like I said, consciously or subconsciously, you as a human being will always save the life or value the life of a human higher than non-human. And that's exactly what we are saying.
Agree.
Okay.
Now, say if you have option to eat a human baby.
Say again?
If you have option to eat a human baby, a chicken baby or a plant, why don't eat plant?
Sorry, if you have the option to
Eat human baby.
eat human baby. Wow.
Eat
This is
chicken.
some extreme
I'm giving you
examples is ringing now.
3 options.
Yeah.
Human baby,
Human,
chicken
chickens
baby,
and
or
plants.
Plant. Why not go for plant?
You know what? I would rather die than eat a human baby alive. Because to me to kill a child is one of the most heinous things you could do.
Yeah.
All right? And this is something that Allah doesn't give us the option to kill another, to save yourself
Yeah.
for food.
That's
Food.
for
That's
you.
different.
That's
But
your
you will always find,
objective
trust me,
For
if
me,
there is a
it's
human
same.
child there, then there is definitely something else to survive. Because the baby is surviving, so there's something else to survive.
Do you know
But-
plants have feelings too, right?
Yeah.
Do you know that? So even plants shouldn't be an option to
They
eat.
don't have feelings.
They don't have feelings.
They do.
They have life, they don't have feelings.
How do you know they don't have
plants have
feelings?
feelings.
Yeah, no, they don't.
No, how can you say that with certainty?
No. It is
You
proven.
go for it.
It's proven. There's a whole scientific discipline called plant neurobiology.
Yeah,
People don't know-
neurobiology, yeah, it's not called feeling.
Plant neurobiology, not human neurobiology. We are learning now. For example, when a caterpillar goes along the tree on the leaves and starts eating one leaf, do you know what happens? That leaf sends a signal to all the other leaves on the branch and so on, saying, look, a caterpillar is coming, and it's
It has its own
imminent
nervous system.
signal. You know, they have feelings. They express their feeling in a different way. They release chemicals to express that feeling. So people in the past didn't realize that, because you know what, when we have vegetarians and vegans who just eat vegetables only in relation to animals, now they're realizing now even plants have the same issues. Well, okay, you shouldn't be eating plants as well, if using the same logic. They go into something else then. They say, oh, it has to be sentient, it has to be consensual, lots of different things. So coming back to this example, we say, look, God has given us a certain provision. Say, this you can eat, this you cannot eat. This all links to our understanding of who we are in this life and who created us and what is permissible and not permissible. That's why, coming back to this question about how do we know God exists and how do we know God created for a purpose, this is something that we can use our mind and our heart when we look at it. Remember you said, how can we be certain? In my letter that I wrote to you about, we met on Sunday and so on, we discussed all of these things. If I say, okay, here is, by the way, my phone number and your phone number, is that correct, and so on, and all that timestamp will make you convinced that this is a genuine letter from genuine myself. This is how the Creator gives evidence in His guidance, the book, the revelation that He sends, the Quran, with these genuine signatures of the divine, saying, these are the things that will make sure you believe that it is from your Creator. And the Quran gives those evidences for people to then have certainty, saying, yes, now I'm sure this is from our Creator. Now I can be convinced that I don't have to worry about how do I know which book and that book. This is what the Quran does. Because otherwise, anyone can claim, would you not agree, that, oh, God tells you to do this. God tells you to give charity to my organization, for example.
Yeah.
You know how people
Yeah,
are
of course.
looting and exploiting all these things? Lots of these fake charities, whatever. So the Quran, have you read the Quran, a bit of it, Anatol? Okay. The Quran, we say, is a book that is a guidance from God, which is not the words of Prophet Muhammad who gave to us. It is a verbatim words of God, in Arabic language, of course, because the Prophet Muhammad was an Arab, with the message from God in terms of who God is, who we are, what we are supposed to do in this life, what we should be doing and not doing, avoiding and definitely doing, and what to expect when we die after life. So where we come from, what are we doing here, and where we are going. Who created us and for what purpose, and how we should fulfill our purpose. Not only these instructions and guidance, but at the same time saying, if you don't believe it's this from God, then this is how you can disprove it. Quran comes with its own falsification tests. Tells you, if you do, critical thinking minded people, that's how you can falsify this book or objectively accept it that is from God. And it gives you several examples there. So this is what perhaps your next step would be, to look into the Quran and say, look, how is it that a book actually proves itself? It's from the divine author. It'd be an interesting one to read. And especially when, if you think about Muslims are saying, we need to be critical, then perhaps it has some elements in which I can critically analyze it and then see what it has for me, what it offers for me. Yeah. So our belief is such that we are here not as a product of chance. There's one creator who created us, and we should be grateful, thankful, and praising and worshipping this creator, and following our life, on fulfilling our life in the ways that our creator wants. So that once we die, that's not the end of it. There will be another life in which we can be going to a place of good, happiness, bliss, joy, tranquility, peace, rather than going to another place in which there will be suffering and sorrow and misery and punishment and torture and so on. We don't want to go there, because there are these two places in the hereafter. This life, and there will be another life called the hereafter, either in a place of happiness or a place of suffering. Which one we should be after? The one in happiness. Because this life is nothing in compared to the eternal life that waits hereafter. People spend this whole life concentrating on this world, not realizing that this world compared to the eternal life is not even a blinking of an eye. So we are being neglectful of the real life in the hereafter just because of the temporary amusement and pleasure of this life. So I would like to seriously ask you to read the Quran, read the biography of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, read about the message of Islam, because often we may have just left ourselves saying this is a cultural thing, or you're Muslims, you're from India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, Indonesia, China, whatever it might be, and we left it like this. We live but we didn't realize that religion or our belief in our creator has to transcend all of these differences. I can't just think about like Islam as a Arab religion or Zayn as this religion. It has to be transcendent to the truth. Truth is for everyone, not only for people in that locality and so on. Yeah. So I would really highly recommend you to read the Quran and reflect on the things that we've said.
Okay.
If it makes sense, take it further. And you have the opportunity to, if you come back again, ask us questions, ask Muslims questions, and ask yourself in your heart and your mind, which one makes more sense? In a world in which everything is just a rearrangement of matter without any conscious designer, or really that tells you in your heart, deep inside in your heart, in your mind, there seems to be an organizer, there seems to be someone who's controlling all of these things, someone for a reason. Like, it's not simply just coincidence. If you really feel this, develop that thought further and say, okay, fine, what is my purpose in this life then? Am I just a particle of dust floating around and I end up a dust? Or there is a purpose of my creation and am I fulfilling that purpose? And we talked about the Pascal's wager, in which what if in reality, as it all points to, there is a hereafter and there is creator and there is heaven, there is hell. There's all the risk of losing and not being successful. So at least we should be more responsible and more accountable for what we do and explore these options and say, look, I want to be successful in this life and in the hereafter. And that is why in Islam we don't neglect this life. We don't just simply say, oh, let's become like monks and sannyasi and others, like go into a particular place and leave the whole world. Don't get married, don't eat anything. No. We have life on this world and we live, we be happy, we joke, and we all of this that everyone has, but within a boundary of permissibility. We're not going to just do everything and everything just because your whims and desires tells us. So we would not say, okay, fine, you just go and become X, Y, and Z. No. There is a moral compass, there's a moral code, which is better for the society, better for the individual, because the one who created us knows us more than we know ourselves. And this is what the Creator told us. Live your life accordingly. You will have a good life in this world, and you'll have, of course, the best life in the hereafter. But if you don't, and you become stubborn and arrogant and you're neglectful and so on, then the consequences is yours in the hereafter. we don't want to risk that, because one of the reasons we are discussing and to learn from each other is to have the understanding that, you know, the way we can achieve, you know, ultimate success is to reawaken ourselves in terms of what we haven't done and what we should be doing, and then, you know, we can appreciate better. For example, you know, once I didn't even realize Zains, for example, are vegans, vegetarians. Imagine if I didn't know that and invited a friend to a burger party, you know, it would be like quite offensive, for example, and not in a good part. And that's why learning about each other's perspectives is quite useful. But in doing so also, we can come to common grounds. We can come to even a common understanding in which we say, yeah, you know what, let us all agree to accept this message from our Creator and be part of that, and then we start, you know, disseminating this information to all others so that we all can be happy and successful. And this is what the Islamic, the message conveyance is. We convey our message as best as we can, so that people themselves, when they're open to it and they hear it, they see it, they say, okay, fine, yeah, I want it. I want to accept it. I want to be like it. I want to follow this particular path. Because remember, we are all following a path. Whether you love someone and you want to be with them, you know, we should have this understanding of love of our Creator, the one who created us. If indeed there is a Creator. The one who gave us life, should I not be thankful? You would be thankful for someone if they, you know, cured you from your disease and things like this, right? The one who gave us all of this, our good health, our life and everything, it's you know, high time now that we are thankful to our Creator. We should be grateful. And this is the essence of worship in Islam. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah?
Thanks. That was
Okay.
great.
It was a pleasure meeting you and speaking to you. As I said, always there's a learning day. Okay? We learn from each other, and hopefully we come to a better understanding, and then hopefully we all follow the same path of success, same path of tolerance and relationship building, and you know, shortening the gap of this people have this, you know, differences between us and so on. So even after all of that, you want to, you know, live your life according to you, whatever you have, but at least we can understand each other. So the element of hate is gone away. The element of what we call this bigotry is gone away. The element of, you know, some kind of, you know, these people ideas of belittling someone or mocking someone, it should be going away. But we hope that in that discussion, at least we have come to understanding of the need of our own salvation, meaning our own success in this life and hereafter, by following the one true path of God. Because there is this question about people can follow any path to God. In Islam, God says no, there is only one path to God. Every other path will take you to hellfire. Our Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he drew on the sand a line, straight line, and several lines going away this way, sideways. He said, this line, that's the line that will take you to God, to paradise. And all the other lines, there's a devil or shaitan, you know, like evil forces taking you away to a side to mislead you from going there. So our life, you will find there will be a lot of distractions and obstacles and desires and things which will try to lead you away or astray from fulfilling the purpose of your creation. So what we would wish for you is that you follow the true path, the path of Islam, and then you achieve success in this life and you achieve success in the hereafter. Okay? Do you have any questions or anything that you would like to share with us, something that we can learn from you too as well?
We talked a lot, I guess.
All right?
Thanks for
Okay.
your time.
Thank you for your time and appreciate all, you know, all that
Thank
time.
you.
Can access the video from your channel.
This is the channel called DawahWise on YouTube.
Okay, I can download it from.
Oh yeah, you subscribe and then you won't miss any notification.
Inshallah.
I'll just take a picture.
Yeah.
Thank
And
you.
this is the logo of that, by the way. This is how it looks.
Okay.
So when you go into DawahWise, that's how it looks. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
We don't have a copy of the Quran. I wanted to give you one, but
Is the
the
brother still
person,
there?
no, he's gone.
He's gone, okay.
Brother Abdullah is not here. But
Anyways.
if you come next time,
Yeah,
we can give you a
next
free
week.
copy, yeah?
Yeah, of course. You'll
Okay.
be here next week.
Sure. You take it. And next time we need to be more prepared for the cold because it was quite cold
Yeah,
today.
it's-
Next week is Christmas, the next day after Christmas, isn't it? So Boxing Day, I don't know if people will come, but
Yeah, probably
inshallah
next-
we'll
yeah.
we'll try. But if not, the one after that,
Yeah.
maybe next year.
Yes, of course. Next year.
Inshallah.
Okay.
All right, thanks
Okay,
a lot.
you take care.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Take
Thank
care.
you.